Hey, everybody. This is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher on her fifth day of her summer vacation. School's out for summer. The teachers. Shout out to my teacher friends who got to do summer school uh, in person and, physically at the school. I'm doing teaching one summer class online. So shout out to those teachers as well. I wanted to come on here because I was like, I have a deja vu. 45. He is 47. Is sticking to his new what he said he's gonna do in his campaign. He's doing that and then some. But now he's going back to some oldies. He going back to one of his classic moves, which he's actually been. Discussing with his people for a very long time. He wanted to bring the Trump ban back, but unfortunately went into this trade war. So what has happened? This is my inference, context clues from reading articles, reading books, reading history, watching videos, but looking at what this man has done in the past and what other people have said, other commentarians, other historians, political scientists. This is a reaction, I think, to several different things. Now, a lot of people feel like this is a reaction to the Boulder city massacre, well, not massacre, Boulder attack by this Egyptian national who I think had been living in another country, been Kuwait for like 17 years, and then he came here in 2023 with his family. He attacked individuals at a pro-Israel rally. These were people who were peacefully protesting, and they wanted the release of the Israeli hostages that Hamas still has. He took some Molotov cocktails and he just started throwing on people, basically burning folks up. Okay, and according to the news that I've been watching, he's been planning this for a year. Now, he came on here for a tourist visa, and then I guess he applied for and got a work permit. And then, as a lot of people say, oh, he's an illegal immigrant. He only became an illegal immigrant 3 months ago because the Kristi Noem and Marco Rubio took away his basically took away his visa. So when remember that they were taking away the visa of a lot of students at campuses and also across the country, like people were literally waking up and finding out like, hey, I'm supposed to leave the country immediately. Well, he stayed 3 months extra, and this is what happened. And so he has been taken into custody. He is going to be charged with, I think, a state crime and a federal hate crime. DHS did take in his family. They were about to be deported, but a judge has said that his wife and his 5 children, right now, they're not going to be deported. I think they're still in ICE detention. I think they really did that because they're trying to ascertain if the wife and the kids knew that their husband and father was going to do this. So, because I thought it was kind of quick. They were like, oh, we're going to deport them now. And I'm like, have you questioned them? Have you looked at anything? Have you went to the house? What else have you done? And so some people feel like, oh, this is Trump reacting to that incident and then wanting to do things into the national security. So he has about 12 countries. If you look at the map, the countries that are like in red, those are the 12 countries like, no, nobody can come from there to the United States. The ones that are in orange, they have limited, like a limited ban. I forget how, I gotta go back and look. But if you look at my description, you will see his executive order that he signed this past Wednesday, which I noticed. I was like, hey, he didn't sign an executive order in a while. And I woke up and he signed one. And I was like, oh, okay. But he's been in his feelings the last couple of days because of the whole taco. That's why I feel like his travel ban is gonna be, he gonna check it out on this too, because when he did the trade tariffs and the war, he's always saying like, "Oh, this is what I'm going to do," and then some of the countries are like, "Well, you putting this tariff on us, we're going to tariff you back, and then we're going to trade." Give much more favorable rates to other countries, and that's what other countries are doing. And so, like right now, he's trying to negotiate with China, but then he's like attacking Harvard, and Harvard is like, like y'all can't take any foreign students, y'all can't do this, y'all can't do that. Columbia is trying to comply with him, you know, but at the same time, not try to hand over their students to them. They still want to respect their students' freedom of speech, but it's hard. And so, Trump has always been about like he's in support of Israel, but I feel like he's doing that at the expense of Middle Eastern and Palestinian students. And I feel like this travel ban is just one more thing. And if you notice, look at most of the countries that are being affected, most of them are in Africa or the Middle East. And if you look at the countries that are affected, those are places where, for the most part, they are unstable. South Sudan is on there. And remember, 8 immigrants were put on a plane and flown there. And it was like, why are y'all? And then only one person on the plane was actually from South Sudan. And one of the federal courts was like, y'all need to stop the plane before it gets to South Sudan. I think it went to Djibouti. And they said, we didn't know that they even getting a chance to appeal their deportation. You're supposed to get an opportunity to appeal your deportation. Well, if they, I believe so there was an ICE detention here in Houston, which I think maybe I have pinpointed where it could be. I mean, Houston is big, but I read another article and they said that it was another case. A father and his son went to the father's immigration hearing. His case got dismissed. Then when he left the courtroom, ICE picked him up and they took his son with him. His son was going to school in California. Well, the son and the father ended up in an ICE detention center, and they said outside of Houston in Conroe, Texas. So Conroe, Texas is like 45 minutes suburb north of Houston. So I'm like, that's a long ass way. And I think one of the federal judges told people like, y'all need to stop sending people far away for their detention. You need to keep it in the area, but I guess they're not doing that. So right now, the family and I think even his school and other people in his community are like, they're trying to find him because I think the dad is illegal, but the son is not. So it's like, what did y'all just snatch up a child? Y'all didn't like call nobody, and that's what I need to let y'all know. If any of y'all know anyone who's going to their immigration hearing, please let them know. Please take someone who is either a U.S. citizen, your lawyer, or another person that cannot be detained, that is an adult, so that at least if you have children, you can go pick them up from school, or you can hand them your child and say, please take my child to safety. So they don't take your kid with you. Because that's what's been happening in a lot of places. So, or at least try to find someone like, hey, we need to put in this appeal real quick, and we need to find out where you've been taken. And they're not, like I said, they're really doing the short on this due process. But anyway, I wanted to say this. Look at the countries that are, like I said, the South Sudan, I believe the 8 immigrants were probably at the Conroe location, and then they got put on the plane. The Bush Intercontinental is not that far. Okay, they just go down I-45, then get on the Beltway and get to the airport, and then have them going to South Sudan. It's like, okay, you got South Sudan in red, so nobody can come from there to come here, but you were sending people over there. And you notice that I'm here, Cuba and Haiti and Venezuela got, I think they're orange. But remember, aren't those the immigrants who came under Biden with TPS that were allowed to stay, and now the Supreme Court says yes, you all have the right to revoke their status. However, there's another article I forgot to share with y'all that said that about either 5 or 50,000 of those the people who came under TPS, they were given an extension when Biden was still president in the beginning of January. So under him, those people were given an extension until I believe October. So those 50 people who asked for, who got an extension, they don't have to leave, according to the courts. So, but the rest of everybody else, remember, Cuba and Haiti and Venezuela, right? Those are the people he's trying to deport. And then if you notice, El Salvador is not on there, and Guatemala, that's not on there. Look at the countries. Some of these, I want to say, I forgot. One of the, yeah. So look at the other countries. Now the man who did the Boulder attack, he was from Egypt. He lived in Kuwait. Egypt doesn't have a color. So why did you stop anybody from coming there? Or Kuwait doesn't have a color either. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna pick countries that obviously he is picking countries that probably don't, I think, get along with Israel. But like he also is having issues with Iran because there's a whole nuclear thing that we're dealing with them. Yemen, that's where some of the Houthis are that we've been dealing with, and some of those support Hamas. Also, Iran also, they say they don't, but unofficially they support Hamas. It's just like, okay, so you're making this statement to say, okay, we're not going to have anybody, no immigration from these places. So that means, if you are from those places and you're currently in the country, so is this another, to me, I feel like it's another attempt to say, I have another reason to kick you out, right? Also, he can say, I'm doing this in the interest of national security. Okay, but remember, in the United States, anytime they say anything with law and order that affects minority groups, they're putting more police on the streets in Black and Brown and even Asian communities, Middle Eastern communities. Then now they're saying national security. Okay, now we're doing more of ICE. Now we're also preventing people from coming to the country. That also means we're also going to be using more of the FBI inside of the country, or we're going to be using more of the CIA and the NSA agency outside of the country as well, right? So, but also remember, we got because our president, I didn't vote for him, while y'all did. He's in a trade war. You can say he initiated this trade war, where some of those countries on this list, I believe, are the ones that may or may not have negotiated an arrangement with him. So guess what he's doing now to push people to make deals with him? Because right now he's trying to, he needs a win. Them calling him Taco, you always chicken out, and then he is, Elon's coming out here and really telling how he feel about that big, beautiful bill. He called it an abomination now. Now Trump is out here saying, like, I'm really disappointed in Elon, and talking to the German chancellor about it. I'm like, why are you talking to the German chancellor? He did not come over here to talk to you about this. Okay? Now he's like, now Trump, he's tweeting at the middle of the night, and someone always says, anytime he's like in the middle of the night, midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, he is upset about something. He wants to win, and it is usually something dealing with a tariff the next day. So this time, it wasn't a tariff. It was a travel ban. So I'm like, wait a minute now. Travel ban, trade war. These countries is overlapping. So basically, my other thing is I have an issue with. He's probably gonna use this as an excuse, right? Because remember, he's all about, all these foreign students at these universities, even though he's highlighting China right now. But China is not in red or orange. Even though China's out here saying to people like, hey, y'all get kicked out of Harvard, y'all can come over here and go to school here. He's even stopped the research, $35 million in $1 billion in grants that the National Institute of Health was putting forward. This Nobel Prize winner, who is now a naturalized citizen here in the United States, he got his research funding cut by $35 million under Trump. So guess what China did? Oh, we'll give you money to come over here anywhere you want in the world to continue doing your research. That's what he's not understanding. You're preventing people from coming here. You wanted to kick out people from universities who are either teaching or students. That is basically, you're pushing the talent out of the country, and they're gonna go somewhere else. And while you over here thinking you're making America great, you're actually making America dumber. Because you're pushing the talent to work for someone else. And one time I read an article that the people who were getting fired from the national government, that the China and Russia was trying to recruit them to come over there and work for them. What you think you doing, Mr. I'm for make America great? What the fuzz? But remember, if you notice his administration, everybody he's picking, they loyal. They own the same way they live. They incompetent as hell. It's like, dang, is that what you trying to make the rest of the country? They loyal, but they competent. Like, dang, especially when you realize immigrants, also those who are working, they pay taxes, they pay Social Security, they cannot get any benefits from. Also, you have right now I'm reading that there's going to be a shortage in the agriculture industry because a lot of immigrants were on these agricultural farms. Well, now guess what? You are rounding up people and deporting them. So guess what? There's no one else to pick there's no one to, pick the fruits and vegetables. Nobody help during harvest time. And on top of that, because of how the United States is treating immigrants, people don't want to come visit here. It's the summertime now. This is the time people, especially Texas, our biggest trading partners, and also people who come to visit us, Mexico and Canada. People are not coming now. That is taking revenue away from states. Okay? No one wants to come here because of you, our president, our policies. Especially when they come through here. And oh, by the way, the countries that you see on here, they're supposed to come here. They're supposed to send their athletes here for the World Cup and the Olympics. He gave them an exemption. To be honest with y'all, I really wish the Olympics and the World Cup will pull out of being host here. And I bet you Trump will go crazy if they do that. Because remember, he kept boasting about it like, oh, I got the World Cup. I got the Olympics. He said that at the was the Memorial Day speech or the West Point speech, one of them, which I thought was inappropriate to say. Like, you didn't win that. But I'm like, you keep doing what you're doing. That somebody will take that away. And also, did y'all know that there are like musicians and singers and bands that they've gotten their visas taken away, so they can't play. Certain groups have had to cancel because either one of the members got their visa taken away because it's a work visa because you're playing. It's one group. The whole band is not able to. Is it Grupo Frontera? They're not able to perform here. and they're a big group, especially in the Latin American community. It's not their fault. Oh, the reason why they said their visas were taken away. Oh, because their songs are about gang life and the cartel, and it's like. And I was looking at the songs, and I was like, I don't see that. But with Kristi Noem and Marco Rubio, everything is always embellished. I mean, she tried to say this man who doesn't know, who can't read or write English, wrote a note attempting to assassinate the president. And they found out that he got framed by the person he was going to testify against in the case. But I was going to say is, I think they're also going to use this because, every month, especially in the summer, they're like, oh, how many people have visited the United States, especially on certain holidays, how much money has certain places have gotten. And they're going to compare it to last year when we were here, when we were under President Biden. And I'm thinking he's going to use this travel ban and the trade tariffs, okay, to say why people are not coming to the United States. We're doing it because of national security, not because he just has a bipolar and narcissistic personality and just be thinking of stuff in the middle of the night. So, but look at those places. And I was really worried because I have a friend of mine who is, she got married and moved to West Africa. And I kept being concerned because under his last man, her country, Nigeria, was on a travel ban. And then this time, I'm so happy it's not, because me and my other best friend, we're talking about going to go visit her, but we had to figure out when can we go visit her, because it seems that if you're a U.S. citizen and you leaving the country, it's fine. When you come back, the U.S. Border and Customs want to interrogate you. And they want to look at your phone, where you been, how long were you there, and yeah. And if you are, just like if you are an immigrant and you have a student or work visa, or you have a green card and you leave the country, come back, they are really looking at y'all. They will detain you. So you'll be in a detention center, either for months or overnight. One lady, her husband, I think she was on I think it was a tourist visa. She went to go visit her husband in Hawaii. He's in the military. They put her in a real ass prison overnight, strip search her and everything. Then they kept asking her, like, well, how come you have so many clothes? You're gonna stay past, what your visa says you're gonna do. And she was like, well, these are things that we bought, things on her trip with her mom. The next day, she ended up being released. But then, guess what? She's banned from the United States for 10 years. You know what? The thing that got her to treat me, y'all? Her tattoos. She's from Australia. Also, I will say this: she is a light brown tanner, Australian, and she has tattoos. But you know how they've been doing, how the DHS been doing people with tattoos. Been saying like, oh, these are, hers look more like either like part of her ethnicity or like her, her ethnicity from where she's from. Like they didn't look anything like. I'm telling you, they trying to make everything. Oh, they're in a gang. They're in this and that. That lady's husband is in the U.S. military. By the way, there's another person in the U.S. military. His wife got taken. But then I read somewhere, there's a man here. I think it may be the wife. There's a special status for that a immigrant or illegal immigrant can have if their spouse is a military personnel. And when the lady, I think it was the lady, yeah, because the husband's in the military, and they took his wife. Wife is in detention, and he has the kids, and she has what do you call it? They call it something special size. And I'm thinking like these military people, y'all didn't have no talk with them first. At least give them the heads up. Yeah, I think whatever filter they were using to identify who were the illegal immigrants, they just gave everyone the broad stroke, and they didn't look at it case by case, and that's why they have all these lawsuits in in the courts right now. Do you know? I just read one case that was so sad, y'all. That's why I said, I'm really sympathetic to those who came over as children, or who were adopted, because there's foreign adoptions. But also, I'm sympathetic to people who were born on U.S. military bases, because now there's some older adults who now gotta go prove that they are U.S. citizens when you were born on a U.S. military base. I think there was one lady, one man. They were finally able to prove it. One lady, her mom was from the U.S. Her dad was from Canada. She was born in Canada, but I guess according to the U.S. policy, she can become a naturalized citizen through her mother. Well, her parents never went through the process. So she has voted, she has paid taxes, she has done everything. And I think she went to go renew her driver's license this past year, and they told her she couldn't because she didn't have the correct documentation to prove that she was a U.S. citizen. And she was like, "What you talking about?" So she got some help with some people in, the government, immigration law, all that stuff. And basically she went through the naturalization process through her mama. She's like in her 60s. It was another man. He had to go get his birth certificate. He was born in military base. Was it? I forget where it was. In Europe, but according to Elon was in charge of stuff. They were trying to say, "Oh, Social Security says you were not born in the United States." So the filter just said, "Well, who's not born in the United States?" And they kicked these people out. And it was like, this man was not born in the United States, but he's born in a U.S. military bases, U.S. embassies, and U.S. consulate are considered U.S. soil. You born there, you are a U.S. citizen. But all these special cases are coming up, and that's why I'm looking at this map like, okay, I think you're gonna taco again, because like he's saying like, oh, this travel ban is gonna start on Monday, so we got what, like 4 or 5 days. So how many people can use the court system? How many of these countries are willing to make some type of arrangement, either travel ban or tariff wise, with the United States? Just like with the trade tariff, Trump always took his out. I think he's gonna do it on this one too. Cause guess what happened the last time, y'all? I don't know if y'all remember this. Remember the last time he did the travel ban, it was way more countries. There were people who were Trump supporters, right? People who were Trump supporters. Their spouses were working. They were civilians. They were working in these countries that he had a travel ban. They couldn't come back home. So this travel ban right here, this is going to affect some more people who are working in those countries as civilians or businesses. They may be there now, maybe trying to get out of there. Okay, maybe some more people maybe have a spouse that's from this country that they went back to go visit family, and now they can't get back into the United States. That's going to be a problem and an issue. And my thing is this: Venezuela is a part of OPEC, the Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries. It's the only Western nation in OPEC. Why would you be? Why would you treat them like? Why would you treat that country like that? Like, we got these extra oil or something. You gonna pick? You go? Okay. All right. This is what you're doing. Okay. So I think he just do this as a ploy. He's trying to get a win. He's trying to get some of these countries to make deals with him. He's even been tweeting about President Xi, is it Xi of China, and I'm just like, sir, yeah, he's trying to find a win somewhere. But I think he's gonna tackle on this one. This is my opinion. It's just gonna this man is gonna cause more problems. It's gonna cause more problems. So, but y'all look on here. If y'all have people who work co-workers, family members, someone in-laws, somebody was born on a military base in one of these places. Okay. Someone's talking about traveling somewhere. Show them this map now. Okay, show them this map. And so many things happen every day. I shared an article on Facebook and also on Threads. This guy, African American guy, his dad was from Jamaica. His mom was African American from the United States. They got married, had him, and he was born in Germany on a U.S. military base. But then his parents divorced, but his mom remarried another military man, so they were always moving around on a military base. Well, he had some issues going in his life, and he went to go live with his dad, who was retired in Florida. And then after his dad died, he kind of like went, he had some, he ended up in Texas. He had got a job as a janitor. He got in some trouble. He got into, it was like misdemeanor type stuff though. He got a job as a janitor, but he got into some financial trouble. He ended up getting evicted. Him and his dog got evicted. Then someone called the police saying, "Oh, there's a dog tied up," and he was like, "Well, this is my dog, and I just got evicted, but they took him in on, I forgot what they took him in on. I think something with the dog." And then so because he was in jail, he lost his job. See, and so while he was in jail, guess what happened? Well, he got flagged as, "Oh, you're not a U.S. citizen." And he's like, "Wait a minute. I was born on a U.S. military base. My dad was in the military. What are you talking about?" Y'all, they put him from the police state jail, put him in ICE detention. Then they put him on a plane to Jamaica, y'all. He had no time to appeal. I read the article in like in Houston, we had the Houston Chronicle, but in Austin, Texas, they had the Austin Statesman. I need to share it with y'all, do another video on him. But right now, he's trying to, he's in Jamaica now. And he's having a hard time understanding people because a lot of times they're speaking, like it is an English speaking country, but a lot of times they're speaking Jamaican patois, like Haitian Creole, Louisiana Creole, that's what's happening. So I think and this thing is like they sent him to a country he's never been to. It is just, and I'm hoping because I'm gonna keep on looking at the check out on the case because I'm like someone has to be able to help him. But I remember. Y'all remember that boy I told you about? His parents, the governor, former governor of Tennessee or something like that, and they sent him to this, I guess kind of like a reform or rehabilitation place in Jamaica, and they just left him there, and they had to get the kids back into, what do you call it? They had to get the kids back to the United States because their parents didn't want to come get them. I wonder, can he get that lady, that lawyer, because to help him down in Jamaica. It was one lady that was also, I think, on the plane with him. She was trying to help him because she's actually from Jamaica. She had a deportation, whatchamacallit too. So yeah. But yeah, I'm just like, what y'all? Oh Lord, it's just too much. I'm like, okay, we doing deja vu. We going back to the hits now. Cause he's trying to find a win somewhere. But it's like sir, you supposed to be the president of the United States. You just all over the place. Dang nabbit. Shoot. All right. Well, this is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. Thank you so much for listening to me. I really do appreciate it. I'm not on the screen today because I had to go to the dentist office today, and whew, that fluoride thing really, ugh, it's like a coating on my teeth, and I don't like the way it looks. So yeah, and so yeah. All right. This is Let Me See Your Transcript, your favorite teacher. Please check out the executive order that puts this trauma ban into effect, and also please look at the article. It's from an immigration law firm, and it talks about the implications of this travel ban. So everyone needs to really, like I said, if it's not you, is it a coworker? Is someone in your family? Like I'm serious, because right now, like I said, this guy's African American. He's one of the U.S. military. But I even had another Facebook friend. She was in the U.S. Navy. Her and her husband. She's like, "What are you talking?" She even put in the comment. She's like, "Anyone born in U.S. military base across the world is a U.S. citizen." I said, "Yeah, I agree with you. Yes." She would know because she was in the military. So it's just like, yeah, yeah. So. Thank y'all so much for listening to me. I appreciate it. Hey, OG Patrice, I'm sorry I didn't even see you there. Thank you so much for coming over here and giving me your like and your view. Oh, also, I will be doing eventually. I will be doing a live. I have to figure out when I'm going to do it. Talking about. I did drop a little video, short video. Y'all go watch it. Elon Musk and President Donald Trump, their relationship, and I mentioned this before when I do another video about them as narcissists and what has happened in their relationship. Like I saw it a mile away. I was just trying to figure out when it was going to happen. They both are narcissists. Narcissists will align with each other to achieve a goal, but their relationship is not long term. When it no longer meets their mutual goal or one of their goals, they split up. So they either may discard, right, each other, or they may employ, other flying monkeys to then gang stalk the other one. So right now what we're watching is, remember, they were all friends. He was hyping up Elon. Elon was up here trying to do everything, the will of the president. And Elon saw losing money. And then also the people in the administration was like, they're criticizing what Elon is doing in the administration. Then Elon, he only has so many days left. He leaves. He starts making comments about that big, beautiful bill. And that becomes a point of contention. And I think even at their last meeting where he basically gave Elon like a golden key or whatever, I think someone asked for the big beautiful bill, and I think someone, I think remember the president like basically changed the subject. It's like, oh, that question's for me. So yeah, but now he had both of them have their own platforms. Elon has X phone on his Twitter, and the president has Truth Social. Even though his Truth Social posts do get copied over to his X phone on his Twitter posts. But now they subtweeting each other. That's why I'm like, the girls are fighting. And that's why someone said, man, the point was like, everyone keeps saying like, oh, women can't be pregnant because they're so emotional. But look at these two. Two malignant narcissists. And now the president is like, oh, all of Elon's contracts, they should have been canceled. They should have been canceled on the Biden. He always trying to throw Biden in there. That should have been canceled on the Biden. But guess what? You're the president now. So once you cancel them now, you cancel other people contracts. But Elon, the second time around, he said he didn't like the bill because it increased the deficit. But this last time, he called the bill an abomination. So that's what really got the president all messed up. So, but yeah, I got to do another video about them as narcissists and why this is happening with their relationship. We're looking at two narcissists. I don't know if you can call it a mutual discard but they're definitely in a phase where they are mudslinging, smearing each other's name. But the thing is, they're so much alike. It's like you like fighting with your twin, basically, your narcissistic twin, basically. So, but anyway, thank y'all so much for listening to me. Thank you, OG Patrice. Thank you to those of you in the bushes, those of you watching on the replay. Please check out the executive order in my description. Please check out the information on the implications of the travel ban. Please share this information with someone else. Okay? All right. Thank y'all so much. Talk to y'all later. Bye.